Okay, I would like to call this meeting to order. Commend everybody who is attending because we are down to the nibs. And I appreciate everybody who shows up. Okay, and I don't think we need to do the roll call. I think Monica has taken care of that. So I would like to move. I read the minutes from last time and it somehow sounded like not last month, but the month before, but there's nothing inaccurate in it that I'm aware of. Is anybody else got any comments about the minutes? Yeah, this is 2 months old. This isn't last month's because Ray and I went to that meeting from the state CHRO prior. Okay. So
Are you sure, Jane? Because it says that I was there, and I know I wasn't there in October.
That's true. Well, then I don't know. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes, please?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Barbara Vaughn made the motion to accept the minutes. Will somebody second that, please?
I'll second it.
Janine second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, moving right along. Okay, there's a lot of activity on under old business affordable housing check-in. Ray, what have you got? I went to a meeting of the town gown committee the other day and they were talking a lot about this. So what do you know?
What were they saying? I don't have, what were they saying? I guess you could bring me up.
There are 4 construction projects going on in town.
Mhm.
They're all private. One of them is literally a private dormitory that is a suite style arrangement. The other 3 are apartments, and in lieu of providing for affordable housing themselves, the town has gotten the builders to contribute to the town fund that subsidizes affordable housing, because that's how affordable housing works. And the town trust fund is now up to $5 million as a result of that. And the people who run the Charter Oak Apartments have made an application to the town council to change from renting apartments to renting by the bed. If they rent by the bed, it will be less expensive per student per month than if they have to pay all at once, because they won't be responsible. If there's a vacancy in their apartment, they won't be responsible for that bed. But what it will do if the council approved it is that if they rent by the bed, no grown-ups will want to live there. Because who would ever rent an apartment by the bed if you actually wanted to live there all by yourself in a 2-bedroom apartment? So that's what I learned. And the town council is not inclined to give Charter Oak Apartments permission to do that. So that status probably isn't going to change. But in the meanwhile, there are 3 other projects going on. One is a private dormitory and the other 2 are housing, little housing complexes that are quote unquote for seniors, but they're not affordable. There's a percentage of affordable units in each one. So that's what I know. That's what I heard at the meeting the other day.
The town on that issue of the per bed thing, did the town council refer that to another committee, or are they just gonna sit on it, or what are they doing?
You mean the thing about renting by the bed?
Yeah,
My impression was that they were just gonna rule that they can't do that. I don't
they
think,
didn't do that meeting,
yeah, they can do whatever they want. So
but they haven't done it yet.
no.
Okay.
And my private concern about all of this is with all the student housing, it's going to empty out dormitories on campus, and I don't know who's going to suffer financially because of this, but people who put money into building apartments usually have a reasonable judgment that it's going to make money for them. Whereas people who build dormitories don't necessarily have that issue. So I don't know what's going to happen, but as an old housing administrator, I can hardly wait to see.
I'm not sure it's going to actually empty out the dorms. I thought there was a real shortage of student housing in town. Am I wrong about that?
There is somewhat of a shortage of student housing, but what they're doing is they're going to triple up freshmen. And I don't know how many freshmen. They're not tripling the whole freshman class, but they're going to triple up freshmen. That means putting a bunk bed in each double room.
Mhm.
And then they'll all fight with each other, hate each other, and some of them will drop out. And by second semester, they'll have enough housing.
Mm.
That's how it works. I have been through that so many times. It's a nightmare when you put 3 freshmen in a room.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's awful.
Is
But
there any attempt to have affordable housing for people that are not connected with Yukon?
yeah, though that big complex on 44 and 195 out past where Rosal's used to be, is that. And there will be a percentage of quote unquote affordable housing units, and then another percentage of people who work at low paying jobs. You know, so they're not exactly poor enough to be affordable, but they're in between market rate and affordable rate. And there was a discussion that they wanted to have a certain number of apartments for people who wanted to live in town and worked at UConn. And I assume that's the staff that does the maintenance, the cleaning, the cafeteria, and, you know, stuff like that. So there's some, I think it's grossly inadequate, but it is there. I also went to a meeting with the 3 state reps, Haddad,
Pat Boyd,
Pat Boyd, and that woman who I think is very good, never can remember her name.
oh, the senator, May
Yeah.
Flexer.
May Flexer. And
Yeah.
they were all there, and there was a guy there from the town housing someone, the housing committee that is overseeing affordable housing and everything else. And he is a Stearns person, and he owns a lot of property and stores, and he is livid at the minimal attempt we are making to provide housing for seniors, and he made that perfectly clear. And he could quote what the problems were, chapter, verse, citation, and cost. And this is a man who knows about property in stores, and he was really like, this is nothing approaching what we really need to do here. And he said that at great length, and Pat Boyd and the other people listened to him, but then they started talking about how complicated it all was because of public-private funding, and I don't think he got any satisfaction, but he got to say what he thought, so.
Yeah, one of the problems too is with public-private funding is that you can't necessarily make it for Mansfield residents only. So if you open up affordable housing, it could be anyone. It's anybody who applies. You can't limit it, you know, depending on the source of the money, you can't say, oh, it can only be a person from Mansfield, so.
Oh, right.
You
They
could
didn't-
have people from all over coming in. You're really not helping anybody that's in town necessarily. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah, well, I didn't get the sense they wanted to help anybody from in town. They wanted to bring more people into town who have those jobs and can't afford to live here. That seems to be the motivation, but they don't have enough to really make a dent in what the need is. I mean, it's kind of like the people in Foster Drive would like to move into Mansfield and
Correct.
don't have any place to move to. That's what the issue is.
I guess playing the devil's advocate though, why is the town of Mansfield
Conversation.
responsibility to provide them housing? It throws a, oh no, don't tell me that's me.
I'm not sure I got that right.
Yeah, I think I froze up. I guess just playing the devil's advocate though, if, you know, why is it the town of Mansfield's responsibility to provide affordable housing for people in Wyndham? Does that make
Oh.
sense? Or is somebody still breaking up?
I'm not sure. Jane, are you frozen there?
She looks like she is.
Yeah, she's frozen up. Oh dear.
Janine is still here, right?
Yeah. I mean, when I went to the senior center, they said the #1 problem in Mansfield for seniors was affordable housing. And I don't see that they've actually done anything to remedy that. I'm just bringing that up.
Yeah, and my point is, though, if they offer more units, it's not necessarily gonna go to anyone in town. It could
Yeah.
be first come, first serve on whoever gets in the application process.
Yeah.
Are you back, Jane? She's still.
She was here
frozen.
for a second.
Jane.
This used to happen to me all the time when I did that year of remote teaching. It's very frustrating.
I remember that.
Yeah, terrible. There, are you back? There you are. You're muted.
Muted.
There you
What are you trying to say?
We lost you for a while.
You were frozen.
We're okay now.
Yeah.
Okay, so all I can say is all the construction that's currently going on is private. It is, access to it is controlled by income and assessment of income. You know, whether you can afford it, and if you can't afford it, what the categories are for income to be eligible for the other thing. And it's all private, has nothing to do with the university, and we just have to wait and see what happens because it's very complicated.
Are they making any attempt to have any senior housing?
Yeah, one
Oh.
of these little projects, I think on South Eagleville Road is a senior project, but it's not an affordable project. It's
Oh.
got a little bit of affordable house, and I don't know what designates senior, how old you have to be or how they do that, but there is one. So there'll be places, but the people in this Commission on Aging are so mad because of how much it costs, not the availability of space. There's places to live, they just can't afford them.
Oh, you're talking about Glen Ridge, those condos?
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
I'm wondering if they're gonna build something. They're building stuff, but is any of it designated for seniors?
Yes, I think the one on South Eagleville Road is.
Oh, okay.
And the piece of land that used to be graduate housing on the corner is just is
Oh, no. She's gone again. Are you back?
we're back.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we better talk fast. This doesn't
Yeah.
feel real optimistic. Okay. Um. Okay, community conversations. We have one other thing that I don't see on here. We have to approve next year's schedule and mark that out to us. And that's not on the agenda unless I'm missing something.
It's D.
Oh, it's D. Okay, all right.
Yeah, an old business, yep.
Okay, community conversations. Okay, here's the deal with community conversations. I'd like to do 3 of them in the spring. We know what the topics are. Janine, I'd like you to get back in touch with
The library
the library
and Carolyn.
and see what we can do for dates. And see
Yeah,
if that's
I'm
okay.
trying back and forth with them.
Okay, well, nobody's going to die if it takes a while, but please try. Thank you. Okay, the second one is the interfaith one. I haven't connected with anybody about that except for our potential new member, Deborah, who will be with us in January. But I think it won't be too hard. I just have to get reconnected to the Muslim Association of Connecticut, and I tried, but I haven't heard back from them. And this is a terrible time to do that, but I would like to do that sometime in February, March. And then we need then we are going to have the Pride celebration in June that we probably ought to contribute to. And Juneteenth. So I think that's what's on our agenda for the spring, and I would like to have other people make comments, thoughts. What are we missing? Should we be doing something else? We can't know what we're going to do with the Pride thing until we talk to Katie, but historically we have had some connection with it, and we definitely need to be involved in Juneteenth.
Yeah.
So the community conversations, once we nail down dates and a place, how are we going to publicize that to the
We're going to
community?
talk to Margaret, who is a gift from God, and Margaret is going to tell us.
Okay.
The one thing I know we're going to do, because it works so well, is to go through all the churches and tell all the clergy in a 20-mile radius to please announce this in their little church bulletins. Then we'll put it in the town bulletin, and we'll put it on in the newspaper, and what else we'll do. But Margaret's really good at that.
Thank you.
Okay,
So
so we just basically have to get the dates
we
and
have
the
to get
place.
the people and the dates. I think the place will be easy.
Yeah, okay.
So Barbara, you and I need to talk about rounding up all these clergy and talking to
Right.
them. And I haven't done that yet. Okay. Anything else you think we all need to talk about? The discussion that Amy's group was going to have was, what kind of a town do you want Mansfield to be? And I think that would be a wonderful discussion to do sometime, say in April,
Mhm.
and do it. But I need to talk to Amy to find out if anybody is running this kind of a thing. Do we do it by ourselves? because I can't think of any other way to, I don't want to I don't want to do something she's already done or duplicate her efforts. So is,
What was that title again? What kind of,
what town do you want Mansfield to be? And to use the deliberation and discourse structure that she's already set up. And see if we can do that. And lacking that, since we have to do something with Juneteenth and we have to do something with Pride, I'm not sure we need to think of any other subjects at this point. I don't know. I think that's as much as we can handle.
last year we were thinking about we were going to do something with Juneteenth,
Yeah,
but because of
there was a date conflict because of when it falls.
it was a day conflict and MES, it was a very tumultuous year last year for them, so they really couldn't get anything together. But we can maybe touch base with MMS and back again with MES. I don't know.
Okay, let me make a couple of phone calls. I'm writing a note to myself. I'm beginning to recover from the loss of my mother-in-law, but I'm still a little confused about almost everything you could mention.
I vaguely remember being in contact with Larry Barlow
Yeah, who,
and the art teacher, and it was just like a little short timing. So if you hit him up now,
mhm.
it'll give him something to think about so that he could maybe put it within whatever lesson plans or something like that they can do.
Okay, and also the MES, I have to go over there and meet that woman, the new principal.
Mm.
So I can bring this up when I do, I'll make an appointment. Okay, all right, well, I think that's as far as we can go today. Everybody knows what they need to do and we'll just see where it goes. 12, what's today? 13th. Okay, happy to say hello campaign. Margaret has done another wonderful thing. We've got stickers. She made up a little table tent, that's like this big and you fold it over. And she said what she suggests we do is take as many stickers as we want to distribute in each location, put them in this little cup, put the table tent explaining what the stickers are, and then she's going to print a bunch of our brochures and put them next to that. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to take those stickers around to the centers, the community center, the senior center, town hall, and the library at the very least, and then maybe take them to the principals of the elementary school and the middle school and say, we would like to put these on the desk of your registrar and just have them pointed out to people when they come in. And that way we'll have these things all over town with a little explanation and an explanation of what the Human Rights Commission is. And I think it will be a very nice publicity thing for us to tell people we're here. Comment.
Yeah, I agree. Are the suggestion boxes out? I don't know that I've seen them.
I don't know, and I haven't been looking for them. I think so, but I'm not positive. Monica, do you know if the suggestion boxes are out?
Yes, they are. One is here in town hall, right in front of the town clerk's office. One is at the community center, and I think one is at the library and one is at the senior center, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, has anybody gone around and seen if anything's in there?
Yeah, we had the one comment, we had a few comments, one was a few months ago, Sharon had emailed them to us. But nothing recently has come through.
Okay, well, I think if we take these little stickers and little brochures and everything and put them next to the boxes,
Yeah,
we
that's
get it will focus attention on those and maybe we'll get a little more activity. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Anybody want to be part of the distribution system?
I mean, I can help out, sure.
Okay, when I get the stuff, I'll tell you and then we'll figure out. who-
Okay, yeah,
But I definitely need to go to both schools and talk to both principals and introduce myself and do all that. And see where we go with that. Okay, so I think we're moving along and things are, we're making ourselves visible, and I think that's about the best we can be doing right now, and I'm really very pleased about the whole thing, so. Okay, now the 2024 meeting schedule, we have adjusted it so that this one says the third meetings of the month, but I'm going to request that third Wednesday of the month, that we go to the first Wednesday of the month, because that is the one day that the Reverend Deborah can come, is on the first Wednesday of each month. So Monica, do we
those
need
are the dates that she actually sent around.
our Mondays?
The first Wednesday of each month is
Yeah.
what she sent around.
Okay,
And the
so
only issue was the February one was on a Tuesday, but I think you fixed that, right? So it's
Yeah, I
February
still have-
7th, not February 6th.
Okay, so the official agenda now is correct, and it's we're going to meet on the first Wednesday of each month from now on. Any comments about that?
Does that conflict anybody else?
Pardon me,
Are there any other town meetings on that night?
Monica?
I don't think so. None of the ones that are going to, I think, matter. Think the Board of Ed is Tuesday, Thursday, or Tuesdays. I don't think that they're Wednesdays, and then I think it's just planning and zoning, which I don't think we have anyone from planning and zoning.
Nope.
Okay. So can I have a motion to adopt this schedule, please?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Barbara.
I'll second it.
Ray seconds it. Okay, and I will make it a point to invite Deborah. Deborah hasn't been appointed yet, but she did show up at the winter welcome and she brought stuff and she was very helpful and got along with everybody and it was really good and I'm really looking forward to having her. And I don't know if you've been noticing that her church has been in the paper lately. Because they've got a pride flag out in front. It's been stolen several times. And they've had a little bit of vandalism and I didn't know where the church was and I just drove by there today. It's right on Route 44. So anybody who wants to drive up and cause trouble can easily do it and get away. But they have installed more security cameras and they're hoping to find out who's doing it and get it to stop.
What church is she with?
Church, Second UCC Church in Coventry.
Oh, in Coventry, okay.
Is she a resident of the town?
Pardon me?
Is she a resident of the town?
She's resident of Mansfield. Yeah, she lives here, but her church is in Coventry.
Okay.
And when you hear her background, she's just got a mind-boggling background. She's going to be a tremendous asset to all kinds of things. Okay. Next thing, new business. Winter welcome discussion. We were all there. What did we think, except for Ray, who was sick?
I got really good at snowflakes. Thanks to Janine.
You have a new skill.
You never know when that's going to come in handy.
Oh, absolutely. When you're going to have grandchildren, and when you have grandchildren and you're entertaining them, this is going to be very useful stuff.
There you go.
Okay. Anyway, I was delighted with what happened. It took a while. We kind of got a slow start, but we got plenty of people
Mhm.
coming through. We had a lot of good conversations. Deborah was out in the street bringing people in. And I don't know, Janine, what was your experience with all that?
Oh, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Speaking with the young ones and then hitting up the parents while they were busy doing their stuff.
Yeah,
I will say it was a little loud with the music, so it was kind of difficult to talk to people. What we're about, or the infamous what do you think your human rights are?
great question.
Yeah, I followed up. You did that, and I remember the one response that you had during the summer, during the Celebrate Mansfield was, right, life, liberty, and so when I asked, what do you think your basic human rights are, and they started doing that, I'm like, and no, you cannot quote your constitutional rights, and they're like, oh.
Well,
So,
I had some good conversations with parents because all of a sudden it dawned on me that somebody had just gotten shot in Vermont for walking down the street. And I started talking about the need for people to be connected and treat each other decently. And the heads were nodding, 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 nodding. So
yeah.
it struck a note, I think. I was glad we were there. So we've now got all the equipment, all the signs and everything we need. And we're all set for next fall.
Mhm.
Okay. Right. I think we've covered spring plans. I think we just did it, but let's have member reports. What have people been doing? Have you been going to any other meetings or talking to anybody? Janine, you want to announce what NAACP is doing on Saturday?
Yeah, actually, I was also busy making Benny cookies, Benne. It's more like a
Oh,
wafer. They
Benny
had asked,
wafers. Yeah, I've heard of those. Yeah.
oh man, they are
Yeah.
addictive. I'm going to
Yeah.
have to make some more.
What
Mhm.
are they?
It is, have you ever heard of Irish lace cookies?
Are they like pizzelles?
Very thin. They are very, very thin. It's very thin like a Irish lace cookie, but it's made with sesame seed and flour and butter and you know those hard sesame candies?
Oh, yeah, sure.
It has that flavor to it. So you just kind of like, let me just take another one. Let me just take another one.
And they're
But they
thin.
asked if I
You can
would
have as
make
many as you want.
so they asked if I would be willing to try those recipes because I like to try different recipes and it's really good and how it will tie in with the explanation with Kwanzaa and everything, you know, about the slaves and how they had brought them here. And it's more of a low South country, low Southern states of the United
Mhm.
States, you know, those types of things.
Tell us.
But it's the Kwanzaa celebration is this Saturday at 10:30 at the Willimantic Library. And I think this might be their second or third year or something like that. So they're just like still, you know, learning how to do everything. But it's very interesting where they have explanation of the candles and what each of them mean. They're going to have, I think this year, some young drummers. So it's youth and college chapter, and they've grown. And I went to the convention
Mhm.
in Foxwoods last month. That I made some connections and I'm following up with them. And one of it had to do with housing, how they are dealing with housing and some of those questions. And I'm like, you know, we have issues with that, you know, in our town. Um, so yeah, 10:30 this Saturday. Making more connections, and there was something else that I can't remember. But I wrote it down. I don't see it on my notes. Um, oh, uh, Cultural Awareness Brigade. I'm still on their mailing list.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I even said something to Terrence Abney. I'm like, you know, you keep sending me stuff, but I'm not, you know, I can go there if I want, you know, if you want me to, you know. But they have some speakers coming in, and was it Franklin Tuitt or something like that? He's supposed to be a
Vice President for
speaker.
Diversity at UConn.
Yeah, he's supposed to be coming in. And I was trying to look for their lineup of different events and everything, and I can't find it. So I can always send an email back out to Terrence Abney and have them resend that to me if you want, of all the
Are
little
these
different
events
things.
open? I think that's a very good organization, but is it open to the public or is it just for EOS students?
Well, there's CAB, and then there's the parent, the offshoot for parent, and they specifically lean more towards Black students. The Cultural Awareness Brigade is open to all the different students. That was one of the things that I had difficulty wrapping my head around. I'm sure, you know, I can ask Terrence if you'd like, you know, get someone, a representative, go to either of these meetings, just like the DEI, Diversity, Equity, Inclusiveness with Peter Dart. I stopped going because I no longer have a child in the school system, and I'm not an employee, but I didn't know if, if you need like another representative or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go. Was not able to go out at dinner time before, but now, from now on, I think I'm gonna try to go to that because I found it very useful.
The DEI,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, it's-
I kind of missed it.
Yeah, can you just show up because you're a citizen of the community? They let anybody in who's a resident.
I don't know. I can find out if you want.
I think it would be good for you to be there. If you want to be there and you are a resident.
All right. I'll ask in regards to the cab, the DEI, and the other one.
Okay. And then just send an email around to everybody on the mailing
Yeah.
list. Okay.
Okay.
I also want to add that the NAACP is having its annual holiday party right after the Kwanzaa celebration.
Yeah.
And I have a kind of an awkward relationship with Leah Rawls, but I have given, it's not bad, it's just awkward. And I have given a lot of thought to, we need to work with them no matter what my personal feelings are. So I'm going to try to go to that Christmas party for a little bit, just to be there, to say, we exist in Mansfield, we want to work with you.
Okay.
And to
I mean,
keep,
and you can always use me because I'm still a member. Both
Oh,
Ravina and
yeah.
I, yeah,
I'm-
both Ravina and I are members, but he does more of the stuff. I just stay in the background, do volunteer extra stuff.
yeah, well, I am a member, I will continue to be a member, but my functional role is defunct.
It
But
happens.
it does happen, and I think, and their priorities shifted, so I think I'm gonna try to go to that thing and just stop in for a little while, give everybody a hello that I know, and then leave and introduce what we're doing.
Okay.
That I can say we exist, because I think it's very important for us to collaborate. I really do.
Melissa Sheardwright is a good person to keep
Yeah,
in
I know
contact
Melissa.
with.
I know Melissa. So she'll be one of the people that I'll make sure to say hello to. Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Anybody else? Has anybody, Barbara, did you go out and do anything for the good of the order this month?
No, I ended up playing Hartford Symphony last week at the last minute, so. And then I playing Handel Messiah. I had two concerts
I
on
love-
Sunday, so I'm just trying to get back to like
Life in the
normal
United
life.
States? Well, I think it's amazing that you have a kind of job that they tell you 15 minutes before the performance that you're supposed to show up. So you have to rehearse whether they need you or not, right?
Yeah. No, well, no. I mean, if I go to a rehearsal, I play the concert.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a legitimate reason not to do anything else. So thank you very much. Ray, you got anything else? Have you been to any other meetings or anything?
Well, you and I went to the CHRO training or participated in that.
Yeah.
So we have some information. Do we have a place like, if somebody feels like they've been discriminated against in town, do we have pamphlets or a place in town?
No, we don't, but that's the next job. We are not empowered to receive complaints. We are empowered to educate. But if we want to put ourselves in a position where we tell people, if you've got a complaint, you can come here and we will handle it or help you handle it. We have two choices. One is we can ask the town council to give us that power. And the other thing is we can refer them to the CHRO.
Right.
The first thing we need to do is to tell everybody, if you've got a complaint, these are the resources. So if you could kind of come up by next month with a proposal, Monica's got stuff, but I think we need to tell people that that's an option because we haven't done that.
Yeah, I mean, do we have a bulletin board or can we?
Depending, let me just jump in real quick. So depending on what that complaint is, there is the Human Resources Advisory Council, I believe is what it's called. And they are like our ADA board. So they would handle a lot of that. A lot of the times we would refer them to Allison Maynard, our Director of Human Services. So she does a lot of that. And she's located in our.
Did she get a lot of complaints about people not, other than Brian Coleman?
I think that I would ask her personally. I don't work in that office, so I don't really fully know. I do know that one complaint we had about the housing issue with the service dog that was going to her. She had already talked with that
Hmm.
individual. So, a lot of those go to her in that office, in the services office.
Okay, Ray, I'm going to ask you, would you get in touch with Allison, find out what the scope of her responsibility is for people who feel like their rights aren't being
Okay,
honored? Because ADA is extremely important, but there are other people who might have complaints
Mm.
that have nothing to do with disabilities, and I think that's probably more what we would focus on if we did focus on anything.
Right, I'll get you her contact information.
sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I got to tell you, it's so nice for me to say, would you please do such and such? And you do it. It's just wonderful. And it's a big change. Okay. Communications, none. Opportunity for public comment, none. Other comments from anybody?
I don't think I have anything.
I think so. So when we meet in January, we will have a person who's about to become a new member, and that'll be exciting. And I don't know where Sabrina is, but it's a little concerning because she's very responsible, so I don't know what's going on with that. But I think we're done.
Can I make a motion to adjourn?
Absolutely.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Ray will second. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you very much, everybody. Have a wonderful holiday, however you're celebrating it. And I will see you in the new year.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Okay.
Jane. Same to
Bye.
you.
Bye, everybody.